All right, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, after I do your love horoscopes here for the year, I'll be taking your questions. That's the Ask a Medium show. And what that means is that I need you to include names of living or deceased that you're asking about. When you include a name, it makes it a lot faster for me to just pull that person forward. That includes pets. It saves us on time. If you have posted a question and it was answered, even if it wasn't answered yet, please don't repost and repost and repost. Give your neighbor a turn. You can always get a reading from me for $20 through email, okay? Or you could book an actual reading at IvyRiveraPsychicMedium.com. That link is up at the top. So give your neighbors a turn, please, and don't block up the feed. All right. Let's start talking about love in 2019. What's going on? We're going to start with Aries. Aries, what I'm feeling for you, a couple key months are February, the end of March, and November. What I see going on with you in February is a little bit of a pulling, a little bit of a tugging, an attempt by you to hold on to someone, to pull someone in closer. And I want to say that if you're dealing with someone who is not really compliant, who isn't putting in the full amount of effort, and you are starting to notice that you're carrying the weight or their communication is lagging and you're getting a little sick and tired of parenting them in this, you no longer want to be a leader, I think you need to take that pretty seriously. So this is a time of analyzing that. What I'm getting more toward the end of March is a releasing and a cleansing for you. So some, maybe not even just in this particular love relationship, but you may be looking at a pattern in your past relationships also where you say, gee, you know, I really feel like I had to be the parent in this and I don't care to do that again. So you could be looking at a situation where you're trying to, I want to say, release bad habits or old patterns. I'm going to have to plug in my charger, so give me 1 second on this note. I have about 50,000 chargers here, and they never are where I actually need them. Okay, so essentially what we're talking about is this decision once and for all for you to say, I want back what I'm putting in. I'm worth it. And I'm going to go get that for myself. What I'm feeling for you, Aries, at the end of November and into December is someone new and refreshing coming in. If you are married or you're in a long-term partnership, what we're talking about here is the person that you're with really stepping up to the plate in a new way. Okay? Taurus. The 3 months that I'm getting here for you are January, July, and September. I also want to say Wednesdays. I just want to say that for you in general, love is going to be good on Wednesdays. Wednesdays will also be a day of clarity for you where you can see more into the truth and the reality of certain situations that are going on. So we have January, Taurus, being a time when something new and dynamic may have come into your energy. You may be looking at this person with almost like rose-colored glasses. I feel this magical energy, almost like unicorns, mysticism. You're wondering what this person is all about, and they kind of have your eyes like, ding, okay, I see diamonds in the eyes. I want to let that relationship play out for quite a while, and I want to say almost 4 to 5 months where you're going to really learn what it was all about, what the significance of it is. July, you'll see some increases in love and people really coming to you, giving you what it is that you need. You don't have to chase anything in July. September, the first 2 weeks, you could be feeling like you're on a bit of a bumpy road in your love life. However, around that time, I see you in a very significant relationship that could very well be soulmate connection, past life connection, and even though this seems rocky, it is of tremendous value. And I want to say anything really worth it doesn't tend to be that easy, okay? So be mindful that there's more going on there. Now, these will, of course, not apply for, to everybody, but because I'm doing 3 different months, we're bound to have a hit here with the majority of you, whether you are in a long-term commitment or not. Geminis, I'm getting August, June, and February. Okay, so I almost want to say the first 2 weeks of February. So let's start there. Geminis, first 2 weeks of February. I see a lot of activity, actually. I see a couple people being behind you, watching. I want to say all eyes are on you. Someone, though, is not talking. Someone is not communicating. They're not telling you how they actually feel, whether they're tied up in something else and they're just sort of being lazy and that's not really working for them, but they're not motivated to go in another direction, or you had a relationship with this person already and it didn't really go anywhere. I feel someone watching you who wants to talk about this, but they don't really know what to do with it, okay? And then you have 2 others approaching you. So for Geminis, it could be a busy month in love. You could also be ignoring it because you're taking care of a lot of other things. Come June, I'm really feeling the first 3 weeks of June being very active, a lot of potential partners coming at you, but you really sorting through that and choosing someone around the last week of June, and you might be riding this out throughout the summer and into the fall and exploring and seeing where the value is and what it's meant to be. Come August, I have the opportunity for proposals, engagements, marriage. Yeah, there's a lot going on, okay, for Cancers this year. I want to say I have marital congratulations, things like this. For those of you who are already, again, in a long-term commitment, this could be an expression of love. Okay, coming through in those same ways, in those manners to you from your partner that's different from what you used to have. Leo, I'm feeling April. I'm also feeling September, and I want to say December going into January. Leo, let's start with April. The 3rd week of April, I have you cutting some cords, releasing some people, getting rid of some string type attachments that may have been going on in a love partnership where you were being compliant because you felt you needed to based on either the shared resources that you guys have had or because of the level of giving that this person was offering you. You now may have the strength to say, I could do this on my own. I need to step away. This is no longer serving me. It is more about almost manipulation. And in, let's see, September, I do see someone new coming in. For you, I want to say the 2nd week of September. For those of you who are in a long-term commitment, you may see your love partner stepping up in ways that they have not in the past. If you've been asking your spouse to maybe go to marriage counseling or receive some additional help, read that self-help book, helping out with communication a little bit, whatever it is, we may see them stepping up at that point. For those singles, Leos, around that time, though, you may not be super receptive to this person coming in. Don't push them too far away. If it's not the right time, just put them on the back burner, keep them around as a friend, allow yourself to go through the healing process, then let it in. December is going to be a big month for you in love, and that will travel on through into January. Virgo, I'm hearing November. Okay. I'm hearing February. Okay, and I'm hearing a little bit in April and March. So it's sort of like we have one big hit in April, the 2nd week. We have one big hit in March, the 3rd week. But let's focus right now on February and what's going on for you. So Virgo, one of the things that you're going through right now is a cleansing out. You're releasing old habits, old ways, anything that wasn't working in terms of love and intimacy. You might be letting down some walls, letting down some guards. It feels like whoever is around you right now is there literally to serve that purpose. They are there to help you go through that process once and for all and learn some new tricks. Okay, whether this lasts long or it does not is not necessarily the point. We just want to cultivate every lesson that we're supposed to in relationship with others. For those of you who are in a long-term relationship, you could see that parts of yourself that you didn't even realize were negatively affecting your relationship, you're letting go of. So I do not have this coming so much from your partner as much as it is coming from you, and that could be very refreshing to your marriage, your long-term partnership. Okay, and then I was feeling, okay, good. So later in November with Virgo, later in November with Virgo, I have you actually being kind of wild. I almost feel like once you learn these lessons, you might be like reborn, and you might be like, I want to get back out there and try all kinds of new relationships because I learned this skill finally. And it's a whole new world. So you could find yourself doing that. Those of you who are in a long-term relationship, you could feel like a rebirth of that relationship. Libra, I'm getting, I want to say August, I'm getting September, okay, and I keep really feeling a lot of July with you guys, so I want to go there first. Let's go to July. Seems like you have a big period of change going on kind of all at once with love. And what that can look like to many of you is a marriage, an engagement that finally turns into a ceremony, some type of a long-term commitment being made. For others, I see you moving throughout those months, merging the finances and the domestic life. A couple, not a couple of you, but I'd say, I don't know, maybe a quarter of you, I feel like actually starting up a business with someone. So if you've been in a love partnership where you're both pretty savvy entrepreneurs, you've been debating on something like this, like it's time. This is all going to go in your favor here if you do this, but that is going to be a theme for you those 3 months of taking the relationship status and moving it up to the next level. Whatever form of commitment works for you, make it happen. After that, I'm really seeing quite a long period of, I want to say, bliss, enjoying the prosperity from it before we look at any changes about 2 years down the road. Okay, not bad, of course, but just changes from that theme. Scorpio. Scorpio, you had a lot going on in January. I'm also feeling March for you. Okay, and then I'm feeling, I want to say the first 2 weeks in June. So Scorpio, let's talk about what was going on in January. Someone may have latched on to you, and you may have felt like they were sort of sucking the life out of you a little bit. You may have been feeling almost like everything that they were giving, they were only giving to receive back. There was a lack of authenticity, and I don't know that you understood it at first other than a strange feeling. But upon closer examination, you started to address this. I actually feel like you may have held it in and kind of gotten a little upset about it. But whoever this, whether this be your long-term partner or someone you were just dating, I feel you confronting it in whatever way that you chose. And it's important that you examine why that would have happened, okay? Why were you attracting that at that time? Don't overgive, and make sure that your communication is on point. What I'm feeling as far as March and June opportunities and lessons, March is fun for you. I see someone coming in who can match your energy level, who can match your strange abilities to examine, the darker side and things that make a lot of people uncomfortable. This person can ride with you through life, and you're really not working at it. You're really just enjoying it. I feel really good about that. I also feel like this person is quite adventurous in the sense that there's just them coming to the table and saying, let's do this, let's go here. I do want to say that it could be good for you to be on guard of people in general, relationships in general, of all that glitters is not gold, and someone that maybe appears to be so magical could actually be covering up some of the other stuff that they need to be dealing with, okay? So make sure you're dealing with well-rounded people around that time. June to me feels like a cleansing period, a period of going inward, and a time for you to almost calm down and really start attracting what's going to work for you. Obviously, if you're in a long-term relationship, these things do apply. These would be issues that would be surfacing, and in June it would be peace, okay? Peace between you and your partner, peace within yourself if you are a single, Sagittarius. I want to say I'm going with April here, and I'm going with April for Capricorn also. Okay, I'm also feeling like I want to say the last 2 weeks of November and what would appear to be the third week of February. So Sagittarius, let's start with the February, the third week, which is, I believe, either this week or next week. What's going to be happening with you is an examination. I see with a magnifying glass and really looking at your relationships, looking at any love partners that you're talking to now or potentially thinking of making into something more long-term. And I have you examining how you feel, where you want to be, where you really want to be going, and analyzing whether or not that fits. Okay, so there's a lot of that going on in a long-term partnership. You may be letting go or redesigning some long-term plans with your marriage partner. Now, when we're looking at April, fun, okay? It's just all about fun. It's about doing something new. If you're in any type of a relationship, travel is good. This is sometimes travel with someone can make things come to the surface, and people always say that's the biggest test on a relationship is how a trip goes. Not for you and not at that time. Take those trips, do it. And in November, I'm seeing the possibility of you examining really settling down. And if you are with someone around that time, meaning marriage or long term, you guys may be looking at doing something more foundational with your money, like an additional property, like investing in something bigger than what you have. Capricorn, I'm going with April. I'm also going with, I want to say, the third week of June. And I want to say I have to go with July. So it seems that June and July are somewhat connected. Capricorn, in April, you're really examining your love partnerships. You're examining how exactly these people are influencing you, how they're making you feel, and what it is that makes you tick in terms of who you're becoming, where you want to be, and if this is serving you. I want to say that if you start feeling selfish or like, well, that's not what love is supposed to be all about. Actually, you know, some of it is. It's not just about giving and giving endlessly. So feel good about that and allow yourself to ask those important questions. These will play out nicely into June and July. So we're talking the third week of June and then riding out throughout pretty much the entire month of July. I'm watching you be very, very adventurous. For those of you who are single, you might be juggling a couple different partners. I see you with 2 to 3. One who's just sort of on the background, like a, you know, it's like your side guy. And then I see you with 2 different people, or your side girl, whatever. And then I see you with 2 different people, obviously being open and honest with everyone about what's going on, but just exploring what this means. I want to say, take it slow, enjoy your summer. There's a lot going on. For those of you in marriage, you may be really lighting a fire up under your partner and getting them moving once and for all and saying, look, I can't just sit here forever. Okay. If you're with someone who's a bit of a slug. Aquarius, let's see what I'm getting for you. Okay, so Aquarius, I'm getting March, May, and October. What I'm feeling in March is a bit of a stirring of the pot. So if you've been dealing with any unresolved issues, if you swept them under the carpet, skeletons in the closet, anything like this, it's going to be really important for you to allow them to come to the surface during that time, because you're going to find yourself with someone who's sort of spying on all of that. They're really examining how you're handling that or not handling that. Okay, so deal with your stuff. In May, I have you feeling more empowered. I have you feeling very refreshed, rejuvenated. For those of you who are going to be single, you're ready for something new, and you may be pulling some people in toward you. So that's a good time to get on dating sites. That's a good time to start just going out more and accepting any kind of like blind dates or dates through friends. Attend every party. You could be finding your partner entering into, your long-term partner entering into your life in May, especially the 13th, the 30th, the 3rd. Pay attention. October 22nd is going to be a big day for you, as the 26th may also be. These are somewhat connected in theme. And so I want to say that anything you've been trying to resolve, you're debating on where to go in a particular relationship or what to do, answers will be coming to you at that time about what it all means. Pisces, let me see what I'm getting here. Okay, so I'm getting May 2nd and the second week of May. I'm also feeling September in the third week for you. Okay, and then I don't know if something's going on with Venus or what, but I'm going to give like November again. So many of you in November. November 23rd, so Pisces. In May, the second and the second week of May, what I'm feeling for you is a lot of potential partners approaching you, and if you're in a long-term relationship, your love partner approaching you, wanting more of your time, wanting more of your energy, wanting to be more up in your space. And for the first time in a really long time, I have you being able to say, you know what, I don't think so. Okay, this just really isn't working for me. And that's fine. This is almost a test to see who's in your life at that time. It's a test to see whether or not they can just roll with that and really honor your energy level and your need for space. It's more of a time for you to love yourself, okay? I want to say that's time for you to be in love with you. And whoever is meant to be there will be there when you come out of that. Now, around September, it's like the third week of September is what that feels like to me. I have you shedding a lot of old skin, shedding a lot of old habits, and really once and for all getting out there. I want to say you want to spice up your love life. I want to say that if you're in a long-term commitment, you want to spice that up. So we might be looking at some new endeavors together, and you're at the head of it, okay? You're not waiting passively for anyone to take you along for a ride, your knight in shining armor, okay, or your princess to come along. You're just going after it, and it is there and available to you. Come November, I have you getting pretty serious, being open to long-term commitment, and it looks like if that has not already, that would be approaching come December, January, and that's someone you could find yourself with for quite a long time. Dealing with a lot of lessons, okay, in life pertaining to who you are, where you're headed, and what it is that you want to put back out into the world. These would be soulmate connections, very intense type of connections. Okay, guys, this will go up on YouTube.